Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. How are you? Welcome to the show at Rise Up Show with me, your host, the Queen Bee, Dani. How are you feeling? As we chat this morning to the devilishly handsome, the fabulously wonderful, the incredibly knowledgeable Mr. Fidel Bohill, the modern man. Good morning. Jodie Salt, good morning. Babna Reddy, good morning. Elise Woodbine, good morning. The devilishly handsome Ian Dixon, good morning, sir.
Shut up, for f***'s sake. Jesus.
The fantastic Lizzie Jackson Barrett, good morning. Josephine Sandra, everybody, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Look at the state of this. I should have tidied up before you arrived. Let me get the flip chart sorted out. Let me get the shit weather map on the go. There we go. Everybody, good morning. Welcome to the show, Rise Up Show with your girl, Dani Wallace. I hope you're feeling good this morning. It is Friday. Shake your bum. It's also the new moon. The new moon is now in phase, which means we can start calling in all of the good stuff, right? Apparently, that's what we do. I'll tell you what I tried to do backstage just then. I tried to put my eyeshadow on with absolutely no mirror, and there is a blending issue. Let me rectify. There we go. We nearly had a dual show this morning. Fidel Bohill, the incredible Fidel Bohill, came in to co-host for me or to take the helm for me the other day and stayed logged into my StreamYard. And he had a scheduled live at 9:30 this morning in my StreamYard. We nearly did a dual live. That would have been actually really quite cool. But no, you're stuck with me today. I hope you're all well. Who's watching along this morning? Please do let me know in the comments. Amy Blaney, here she is. Good morning. Happy Friday. Good morning, Nina Spencer. How are you? If you're watching in the Hive and you've not given StreamYard permission for us to see you, you look like this. But good morning, you, whoever you are. Welcome to the show, Rise Up Show. Good morning, Jojo Smith, you bloody ray of honey sunshine. You, just as you are, my angel, just as you are. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, this Friday. I dropped a bit of a bombshell yesterday, you lot. I shared a little bit of something. Look at the state here, look. I'm very untidy today, look. It's because I've been a busy bee. Yeah, I dropped a bit of a bombshell yesterday, didn't I? If you didn't watch along yesterday, I announced I was taking a break from the show. Like, what even is that? But it's only 2 weeks. It's only 2 weeks. Don't worry. This is not me doing one of those things that Netflix does where they say, hey, we're going to take a quick break, and then they decommission the thing. Like, that is not happening. But what is happening is I am now working with a production researcher so that we have an even more incredible lineup for the show Rise Up Show. So we're going to take just 2 weeks when we do the summer swarm. Going to take 2 weeks where there's going to be no show. And I feel scared, and I did tell you about this yesterday. I feel scared. Do you know it's exactly 1 year since the sassy shit weather map appeared? Yeah, I know. I've seen it in my thing this morning. I've seen it in my stories this morning. It's been 1 year since the shit weather map actually became a not shit weather map. I don't know where my weather bees are, though. I need to order some more weather bees. They seem to keep getting lost by Ivy keeps coming into my room and stealing them, essentially, is what she keeps doing. So what we're doing is we're having a Nina, if you've applied to be on the show, you will be on the show. There's a little issue with once you apply to be on the show, it says that it's gone to like be approved. But it has been approved because it's you, Nina. So when we do approve it, it doesn't automatically send, and we don't know how to make that happen in Kartra. So if you give Anna a little email, bookings@imthequeenbee.co.uk, she'll be able to hook you up, make sure you know exactly what's going on with that, my angel. But yeah, we are going to be taking a very short break, and we're going to have a little bit of a show rebrand. So nothing is changing in terms of it's still going to be 9:30. It's still going to be half an hour to 45 minutes, something like that. But we are really placing heavily a focus on making sure that we are approaching as many different types of people as possible with many different types of stories. So as well, you know, diversity really does sit in the heart of the conversations that I have and everything that I do, but the show is not being representative. And that's because it's from an application point of view, it's a free-for-all. So I give my link out and whoever books. Now, in order to maintain inclusivity and in order to maintain diversity, we can't keep doing that. That's not something that we can keep doing. We've got to be more specific about it. So we are going to be seeking out and welcoming in to come and share the stage and the microphone as many different types of people as possible. So very, very excited about that. Very excited to be working with our production research on that. And to bring you some more celebrities, and to bring you some more sports people, athletes, to bring you some more people from the top end of the CEO world to come and provide you with information, inspiration, motivation, and celebration. So yeah, there we go. That's what's going to happen. And I'm going to take a little break from the show, which I'm very scared about. But still, I'm trying. I'm trying my best not to be scared and leaning in. And I know you guys love the show, so you'll be coming back, right? Right? You'll be coming back. Of course, you'll be coming back. You'll be nosy. You'll be like, ooh, what does the new title sequence look like? Ooh, what does the new branding look like? So yeah, that's what's going to be happening, FYI. We've also got some spaces left on the Summer Swarms. If anybody wants to come and do an in real life workshop with me at the end of June, beginning of July, either in Glasgow, Manchester, Birmingham, Glastonbury, or London, you are able to get booked onto that. So that's 347 excluding VAT to come and do the summer strategy sessions with me as part of the Summer Swarm. I am going to get my sleeves up and get in and down and dirty on your businesses and your lives indeed, as life is business and business is life, on into the second half of this year and on into 2022. If you do want to know more about the Summer Swarms, or you haven't booked your place yet and you've been putting it off, go and book it. Those places are filling up quite quickly. All right, that's enough for me this morning. Hope you're all good. Shake your bums. It's Friday. I want to know in the comments, what are your intentions for this new moon cycle? I've got a couple. One is that I'm expanding my team, and that's going to be really successful. So first announcement this morning is yesterday, I agreed with the incredible Catherine Byam. If you don't know her, check her out. She's going to be coming into the business to help with our LinkedIn growth. So that's the first of our official appointments. So that's really, really great news. So if you're over on LinkedIn, we're about to get jiggy over there. So go and make sure you're following me and help me out, because I don't know what the F I'm doing. That's why I've got Catherine in to do it. So yeah, that's some really great news. Other than that, let's get on with the show. So this morning, we have another one of our incredible Story Minder Masterminders joining us. This lady, as I cannot believe, and I'm so grateful for the fact that being over stateside, it's actually 4:30 in the chuffing morning for this human being. She has got up and she looks glorious, PS. Like, she looks far better than I do at 4:30 in the morning. I'm just going to put that out there. But we're going to be talking about all things success this morning with the glorious Cheryl Kasper. Get on in here, lady. Good morning.
Good morning.
You are, whether you are internally not the case, but outwardly you are bright and breezy. It is early doors there, huh?
Oh, it is still the middle of the night here. Yeah, so
Oh my God.
I will be taking a manifestation nap today on the phone.
That is it. So get some guided meditations in, manifest while we're doing it. It's the great time. It's the new moon. So it's all going to work out. It's all going to work
Absolutely.
out. But thank you so much for getting up so early to come and join us on the show at Rise Up Show. Those early mornings, you're so welcome. Those early mornings, sometimes of the day we get our best stuff done though, right? And those really early mornings, especially sort of this time of year. I don't know what it's like over your side of the pond, but it's still beautiful daylight at 4:30 in the morning. That it's not nighttime. I think in winter this would have been slightly more difficult for you. Right?
Yeah, no, it's dark here. It gets late about 6 a.m. So
right. Oh my gosh, like 4:30, the birds are singing, there's stuff going on outside, it's crackers. But Cheryl, thank you so much for joining us. Am I going to get this right? Is it Cheryl or is it Cheryl?
Cheryl.
Cheryl. Is it a sh or a ch?
Shh.
Yeah, I thought so. But definitely not this morning, because we have got some things to talk about, my friend.
Absolutely.
Cheryl, tell us a little bit more about what it is that you do, because it is fascinating.
So I'm a success mindset coach. I'm also a clinical therapist, and I work with female entrepreneurs to heal their hustle. And so I do this by working with their fears, their blocks, and their belief system, so they can really work on speaking their truth to be visible and to create a life of freedom, alignment, and impact the feminine way.
Yeah.
You know, because as women, as entrepreneurs, we're doers. You know, we do, and we push. And that's coming from a masculine energy, right?
Yeah, it is. And especially like if we think of capitalism as a whole, it is very set within the masculine energy. It's very set within the world of money, which is a masculine energy. We was talking about this with the lovely Jill Kirkham just a couple of days ago. I love having this conversation. This is a conversation that comes up quite a bit on the show, talking about being successful, but still allowing for that to be within a feminine energy. We can still be successful and do that. We don't have to be aggressively anything, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, my backstory was I was functioning from a masculine energy, and I was doing and pushing and working and hustling 70 hours a week.
Right.
And until I burnt out, you know, that was my wake-up call. I completely burnt out. I was functioning from a place of anxiety and panic attacks. My marriage started to crumble. I wasn't present for my kids, and you know, something had to change. I had to take a really long, hard look at myself and say, hey, what am I doing? Why am I doing that? That was the bigger question, is why,
right?
And how do I make these changes?
Yeah, again, it's something that we've spoken about on the show with this hustle. For some of us, especially if we have experienced certain things, the busyness stops us looking at it stops creating bandwidth for us to look at the other things in our life that actually need looking at. So if we fill our time up with hustle and fill our time up with busyness, actually, we can justify not looking maybe particularly at the areas that could do with healing and looking at, so that actually we can unlock all of it. Because like you say, you're on a road, you're on a one-way road to burning out if it's just that push all the time.
Yeah. And the hustle, to me, the hustle is a symptom of an underlying problem, right?
Okay.
Like a lot of times I see women hustling, they're working, they're sitting in their office, or they're sitting at their kitchen table for hours upon hours working on their business, but they never get themselves out there, right? They're hustling behind the scenes because of some kind of a fear. And that's what I found. Like there's 5 fears that I find that women entrepreneurs really, you know, are suffering from.
Yeah.
And that's the fear of failure, or the fear of success. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, because I hear that.
Right. The fear of being rejected or judged in some way, you know, for getting ourselves out there. The fear of speaking your truth and being vulnerable. Right. The fear of visibility, and the fear of just not feeling good enough, not smart enough, comparing ourselves, imposter syndrome. So once we look at the symptom, the hustle, right? The overworking, the doing, the pushing, and we assess these 5 core fears, we're really able to start to heal them on a core level.
And when there's a reason for you guys watching at home think that, you know, we talk about this a lot. There's a reason why we talk about it a lot, because if we start to do that work inwardly, then outwardly, actually things start getting better in a number of ways. Even if they're not bad, even if they're good, they can be better. When we look at, you know, if we look at our benchmark, it doesn't have to be that you're, you know, on your knees or suffering burnout. Actually, we can prevent these things from happening by engaging with this stuff sooner, instead of, like, when we get sick, we go to see a doctor, instead of, before we get sick, looking at our wellness. It's the same thing. It's engaging with this stuff early doors, so that we can prevent those not great things happening. And often survivors serve, so people that come from places of burnout often say, you don't have to go that far. You don't have to go all the way there in order for you to be successful. You don't have to break to become successful. That's not what you have to do. It's like taking vitamins. We can do these things before. It's just the not sexy work, though, is it? It's not the sexy work.
It's not the sexy work, but it also goes down to our belief system, right? It's how we've seen our parents, what did we learn from our parents or generational, our grandparents? What are we learning from society and our culture, right? We have this mindset of you need to work hard to be successful, right?
Right.
Right. And I watched my own mother do that. My mother has her own business. My mother works probably 20 out of 24 hours a day. So that's growing up. That's what I learned.
Yeah.
And I tried to do that subconsciously until, my body said, that's enough. You're burnt.
Hell no.
And, and then I was able to do the inner work and really balance the masculine and the feminine, the yin and the yang.
Yeah.
And I've created now a life for myself where I work 3 days a week. I have that ease and flow, and I'm making more money than I ever have. So you can be successful coming from a place of ease and flow and the feminine energy.
So so we talk about the hustle, and the hustle is very masculine energy. It's very, very sort of forward, grind. You've got to work those hours. You've got to make those calls. You've got to work that list. You've got to show up. What about showing up in the feminine? What even does that mean? What even does that look like? Because for so many of us, we don't know any other way. If we look at Instagram, for example, or Facebook, and we look at these gurus that are out there that are saying, hey, you want an online business, now's the time to have an online business. You want to grind, you want to go, you want to hustle. Like, you see all these memes that are out there that are like, I'm the boss. So like, yeah, you are. But how does showing up in your femininity actually work? What does that look like?
So it works by you're going inward and really trusting your own intuition, coming from a place of ease, place of flow. So I plan my weeks. I plan my weeks ahead of time. So I know exactly what my goal is for that week, what my goal is for that day, and I spell it out, right? So my work days are Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So I know that I need to get the bulk of everything I need to get done Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, right?
Right.
So on Mondays and Fridays, I have time to honor my own self. I have time for self-care. I have time to do, some things that I'm not hustling, that I'm not overworking, that I'm not burning myself out on. And I never work on the weekends. Like, that is completely off limits to me. Right. That is my time and my family time. So it's really coming from a place of being able to set boundaries with yourself.
Boundaries, Yeah,
boundaries are huge, because as women entrepreneurs, especially now when most of us are working from home, the boundary lines are blurred.
There are none.
We're not going to an office from 9 to 5 and coming home. They're blurred. So you can really get lost in the day. So setting boundaries is super, super important.
Because that stops time from falling away from you as well. And I think that's a real risk, that when there are no boundaries and you're sort of grind like this, your days do fall one into the next. And suddenly you wake up and you go, gosh, that was a quick 6 months, because you've not actually structured your time in any way for your brain to see anything incrementally. Right. You're just seeing the one piece of work that you're doing the entire time, and I found myself in that space where, like, I can't hold on to it like this. It's just falling through my fingers. I'm getting the jobs done, don't get me wrong, but there's another job to do directly after that. There is no space for breathing, or, in the day, there's no incremental space to be present. So I'm constantly in the state of being 1 foot in the future all the time.
Yes.
But that means everything else runs away from me, behind me.
Exactly.
Having those boundaries.
I'm sorry. I'm talking to even setting your boundaries and setting your day where you're taking a lunch break. I mean, I can't tell you how many days that I've sat and worked, and I look at my clock, it's like 4:30 p.m. and I haven't eaten because I've been doing. Right. So scheduling in those breaks, going out in my backyard and just walking barefoot in my yard and just grounding myself for a few minutes, right? Listening to the birds and the sunshine on my face. We need to take those breaks. And that's how you really start to come into the feminine, by allowing yourself to have these breaks, by honoring your intuition. What is it that I need right now? Listen to your body. Your body gives you clues all of the time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it was interesting. I was talking to Danielle, my ops manager. I'm very lucky. The team that I've got have got eyes on me, because sometimes I get so lost in what I'm doing. They like watch me and they can see, like, I'll go a little bit quieter, or I'll retreat, or I will be really like all over the place. I'll not be able to keep a thought in my head, and they're great at seeing that. And I remember just a couple of weeks ago, I was driving along on my way home from doing something, and all my brain was saying was help. Like, it was pathetic. It was like, in my mind there was some little cartoon me with a white flag going, help. You can't do this, Dani. Stop, for fuck's sake.
But you heard that. That's your
Yes.
that's your inner voice. That's your intuition. You heard that when you stopped, right? When you were in the car by yourself and there was quiet and there was silence, right?
Yes.
We have everything that we need within inside of us, right?
Right.
We hear messages all the time, but we don't hear them when we're busy and doing.
Yeah.
You know, so having that quiet time, it's like, it's 4:30 in the morning here. What I'm going to do, it's nice and quiet. I'm going to have my time where I can just sit and be, right? That's the feminine, just allowing yourself to be and not do all the time. So I'm going to sit and I'm going to enjoy my coffee with the birds that are just starting to wake up and watching the sun come up, right? That's going to be my time this morning. You know, so look for these pockets of time, or create these pockets of time throughout the day that you can just be, even if it's for 5 or 10 minutes. And having a team, like you just said, your team looks out for you. You know, we can all have some kind of a team. You know, whether it's hiring a house cleaner to come once a month to take a little bit of time off of you, or having your groceries delivered, you know.
Yeah. Or even if you're not in a position, for those of you that can't think about, because it took me a long while to think about, the first act of massive self-care that I really partook in was getting a cleaner just once a week to come in. And even if it meant that I didn't do the washing up for a couple of days beforehand, because I just didn't have the bandwidth, knowing that someone was going to come in and do that was all of, you see the relief on my face when I talk about, I could kiss her when she walks in. When Jo comes in, she's just phenomenal, having that space. But for people who, hello?
Dad's not here.
Oh, right, okay. We're being a princess this morning. This is where there's no boundaries in this.
The lines are blurred.
Go away. She's a princess in herself. Up, you look beautiful, mate. We were talking about, oh God, what were we talking about before a princess came in and distracted me?
We were talking about oh gosh.
We were talking about taking time.
Just being a house cleaner.
Right.
So,
for some of you, that might not be where you're at right now. You might not have that little bit of additional income, but there's nothing to say that you can't surround yourself with a tribe of friends, of people who are on the same bandwidth, the same wavelength as you, who can support you, even if it's just to hold space. So yes, it would be great if, you might be sat there right now going, that's all right for you, Dani. You're all right, doing all right for yourself. You can afford a cleaner. I actually forewent a number of bottles of wine in a month to be able to afford a cleaner. I had a look at the things that weren't serving me and thought, how do I conjure up this £25 a week for this lady to come in who is phenomenal? And huge shout out to Jojo and Made Tidy, because they're amazing. But that £25 a week actually allows me to do so much more. Yeah. So if you're thinking about that, Emma, a cleaner is on your vision board, and do it sooner rather than later, even if it makes you feel like you're on your tiptoes in the water.
I mean, that's two, an hour, 2 hours a week, or every other week that you can gain, that you can do something for, something else. Even if you have children, working with some other mothers, you take the kids today, that way you have a day to do some stuff. They'll take the kids the next day, trading off.
Yeah, and doing that. And it takes a community to raise a child. It takes a community to raise a business. It takes a community to raise yourself as well. Like, no person is an island, and allowing yourself to build your tribe, your community, and eventually your team when you get there. So just as an FYI, I just want to, I want to holler out. I don't know who this is, so forgive me who this is. Being a Black woman, I was taught to work 3 times as hard as everyone else to get anywhere. I was exhausted. So we was talking very, very briefly yesterday about being a woman. I know it was when we was talking to Bianca Reimer. Yeah. We was talking about being a woman in a man's world, but being a woman of color, I can't even imagine. You've got to work even harder. I don't know who this is, but I just want to tell you that you're seen, and even though I don't understand it because I haven't had to do it, I get it. I bet you're exhausted. How do we get about that? How do we get about, that sort of gender and race sort of situation where we've got to prove ourselves even more because that's the expectation.
Right. But that's a belief that was instilled in her. She said, I was taught that I have to work harder and 3 times harder. That's a belief that was handed down to her, from probably generations past. We all have beliefs of some sort that have been handed down to us. Until we understand that these beliefs were not ours to begin with. We adopted them as little kids because we didn't know any different, and they're driving our adult world all the time. So when I work with my clients, I say, what are some of these patterns that you're repeating over and over, and let's take a look at them, right? And I developed this 6-pillar Fears to Freedom framework where I take women through 6 pillars of deep dive to get rid of the myths, the stories that we created, right? To really work on your intuition and alignment and your courage and your clarity and your freedom and your intuition. And that's where we really do the deep work. So, to this woman, that's a belief that was shown to you that's not yours. You don't have hard. There are different ways.
I think there's a small difficulty with this in that yes, that's our belief as women, or in Sylvia, I see you. It's a generational curse, 100%, but it's a lot of other people's generational curses as well. So when women or women of color particularly move into, or non-binary people, members of the LGBTQ community, move into a space that isn't where you're a cis white man, there is a disparity from their point of view as well. And sometimes I think creating your space in the world means that you get to work as hard as you choose to work. Exactly. In your field. You get to hold your space and your power and say, no, do you know what? I'm not beholden in that space with those people and their stories. I'm beholden to me and my family and my space and my stories now. We get to rewrite from our corner of the world and then start to build on that outward, and then find those allies who are going to link arms with you, be they male allies or other women allies or whoever it is that's going to hold your back. And again, choosing the people that you surround yourself with, just like we were saying there, Cheryl, is one of the important things. I just kind of wanted to acknowledge that it's hard, isn't it? That they're not our stories, right? But they're not their stories either. But they're holding on to them. So we've got to get over here and become strong in this corner, and then go and take the fuck over.
Exactly. And freedom for everybody is something different. Like you said, Dani, freedom for me is working 3 days a week. Freedom for you may be working 5 days a week or 5 half days a week. We define our own word, our own freedom, whatever that may look like to us or our families,
Yeah. So what brought you to this particular work? So you were hustling and you were working to the point that the things around you would become really hard to hold on to, the relationship with your kids, your partner. What brought you to doing this work? So you did the work on yourself first, and then what?
So I did a lot of the conscious mindset work. I did what I was supposed to do. I did the journaling. I did the coaching. I did the counseling. I did the yoga. I did everything that I was, learned to do. I read the books. I took the courses, but it wasn't enough. It helped, but it wasn't enough. And then I started doing the inner work with him. It was inner work is the key. And I started doing.
1 second, Cheryl. What's happening? Right, I'll come and get it in a minute. Sorry, my darling.
Okay.
It's the school holidays here, and Wallace is taking the dog to the flipping vets. So like I'm a one-woman band.
No worries. So I was doing all the conscious mindset work, and then I stumbled across hypnosis, and I gave it a try, and oh my God, I got to the root cause of why I was hustling, or the root cause of why I didn't believe I was good enough, right? And that opened up a whole nother rabbit hole for me. And that's where this really deep healing started to come from. And I transformed my life in a short period of time. Now, I have over 20 years of being a clinical psychotherapist, right?
Right.
So when I found hypnosis and I saw how quick these transformations were working with me, I'm like, I need to help more women, and I can through this modality.
Yeah. And this is the really amazing thing, that you've got all of this learned qualification experience in understanding the human mind and the psyche and behavior, and then to add on this additional sort of really deep inner work. So not just kind of this, I'm pointing here because a lot of that work's done here, isn't it? It's done in the consciousness, it's done in, CBT or things like that. And then when you start to strip back that consciousness layer and go deeper, you're like Superwoman in this field, because you've got all of this experience and then this experience on top of it. It's just like, I just want to come and hang and spend time with you, like just go deep, like
the borders to open.
I'm straight over. You're in New Jersey, is that right?
I am, yes.
I'm straight over there. I got friends over in New York. I'm going to spend some time up around where you guys are. I just want to come and hang with my New Yorkers and my New Jersey girls.
I'm right on the Jersey Shore. You come on in.
I love it. I love it. So what's you was part of the Story Mind with Natasha Bray, and it's been brilliant. Really, from my point of view, I know I've been inside the group. I get to see like what you guys are doing together and what have you. Almost as a voyeur at the end bit. So you've all come through like your healings and your book writing, your chapter writing for yourselves. How do you feel being a #1 bestseller, Mrs.?
It feels surreal. It really does. It was an amazing experience from day one. I mean, working with Natasha, I've been working with her for over 2 years.
Right.
A lot of my inner healing. I'm where I am today, partly because of her and her support and her mentorship, and then working with Authors and Co. and all of the 15 other authors. I got goosebumps. It was an amazing experience from beginning to end. I mean, we had laughs, we had tears, we had struggles, and we all supported each other 100% along the way. And even now, we're reading each other's chapters, and we're messaging each other, and you're on some of those groups. I mean, the love is just pouring out, and that's what our readers are getting too, that they feel that energy coming from the pages.
It's fizzy, like it's the only way I can describe it, and it's funny because I've done spiritual work with lots of different people, but the feeling that I get, my fingers always do this, and it's always across my chest area. I always go like, it feels fizzy. Like when I got the book in my hand, you can just feel the energy and the love that has gone into creating this piece of work, this anthology. Is just phenomenal, and to know all of you guys in some way, shape or form, and to be able to have conversations with you all, it's just such an honor for me to see how you've all come through that process. How was that for you? Because when you started to share as part of the mastermind and as part of the interview, that very, very quick interview that we did as part of the launch together, that you shared something that you didn't normally share, and actually really it resonated with me, not because I personally experienced it, but I just thought it was such a brave thing to come to the table with. And I wish more people would come to the table with this, because if you look where you were, I'll let you explain, but where you were then and where you were now, you are a very different person, leading yourself in a very different way. Tell us what it is that I'm alluding to there.
So when I was younger, I was the oldest of 3 girls.
Yeah.
And I came from a middle-class suburban family. I I thought I had a great childhood, but I always wanted to be seen.
Right.
I felt that I wasn't seen by my parents. I knew my parents loved me, but I felt like they didn't see me.
Yeah.
So I subconsciously I acted out. I was a mean girl.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shame and guilt that I had to overcome to even say these words out loud. As a therapist, it helps other people. Like I have, this in my past, but it's shaped me to who I am today. I was mean. I bullied, mean to other girls. I was, not that nice to my sisters all the time.
Right.
But when I acted out and got in trouble, I was seen.
Yes.
So it reinforced that behavior, even though it was negative, it reinforced that behavior. Right. And that behavior transformed into my adult life. Part of why I hustled all the time, getting degree after degree, certification after certification, taking course, traveling the country to see these big gurus speak, right? I wanted to be the best, but subconsciously, and this is when I did the deep inner healing work.
Yeah.
I was doing it subconsciously because I wanted my parents to see me.
Right.
I wanted them to say, Cheryl, like, wow, look what you're doing.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you. Like those words, I know they are, but those words never came out of their mouth. And that's all I wanted from them, until recently, very recently, I was able to just see me and be me and not have to worry about being seen by anybody because I see me.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing when you're little, when you're a child, your child does whatever it can to feel one of the 6 basic human needs is significance, and we get that by any means necessary, and that's not even with malintent. That's why we say a lot of I say a lot of people who find themselves in really fractious relationships. It's not malintent. There's a child there somewhere that's trying to achieve significance, and you either get to choose as someone on the receiving end of that to ignore that behavior or to give them significance in a different way and say, hey, do you know what? You don't have to. You don't have to be that in order to get that significance. And what you do now in your work, in your, just the phenomenal work that you do in the chapter of your story, even what you do now is in such a giving space and such a loving space. And for anybody who's got that about them, it doesn't have to be shameful. You don't have to carry guilt for that. It's you get to do incredible things off of the back of it. I think it's such a brave thing to share when lots of people out there would be sat there going, oh, do you know what? I can actually resonate with that.
Yeah.
Nobody comes forward with that sort of admission of themselves as their child. No one comes through with that admission of themselves. And the whole point of personal development and growth is that you develop and you grow, and then you get to change all this superpower.
But subconsciously, it held me back in so many areas. I was afraid to speak my truth because that was part of my truth, right? Yeah. I was afraid to be vulnerable because I was afraid to be judged or rejected in some way. So again, I had to heal all those 5 core fears and all of the layers to get to a place where I'm okay with myself and I see myself and I don't need external validation because it's coming from within.
Yes. Right? Yes. And that, again, it's not a similar experience, but a similar realization where I was part of a group meditation that introduced you to future self, who was really grateful, was holding this gift of all the things that you'd given them, and was so grateful that they're crying, like they're treating you like a rock star, like, oh my God, it's you, Dani, I can't believe it's you, how grateful I am for you, and I'm being grateful to me for being me. And then I realized that that's how actually I feel right now in this moment about past Dani. The past Dani that was sat in the car, that was crying, that didn't know if she was going to continue living. Or like, I'm so proud of her and everything she did in order to get to here. And that was a real click in the lock for me, stopping, seeking, asking people, is that all right? Am I okay? Am I all right? I'm actually all right. Future Dani's like, she's made up.
Exactly. And that brings us back to boundaries, right?
Right.
Now we're able to, once we heal that, and we understand it, then we're able to set boundaries in our life without asking people for permission or saying yes to everything and then being, oh, why did I say yes to that? Right? We're able to say no lovingly.
Yeah, without it keeping us up at 3 a.m. going, oh my God, I said no. Oh God, they're going to think I'm a terrible person. Like getting palpitations about saying no. And you think, well, actually, they've probably forgotten about the fact that you said no. They've just accepted. And the stronger that you are with that holding of yourself, you're teaching people how to teach you. I hope you lot watching at home are seeing this as a recurring theme. Teach people how to teach you, not the other way around. They'll just respect you. People don't contact me at the weekends now.
Yeah.
Good. I can spend it with my family. I won't answer you at the weekend.
You can play princess.
For sure. Exactly that. I'm going to go and do that after the show, by the way. Cheryl, thank you so much for coming onto the show and spending this time with me this morning. It's been an honor to talk to you. Thank you for getting up so early. I would love to know for the people that are watching, and I'm sure that they will feel the need to either reach out or connect with you further. How do we do that?
Yes. So you can contact me on my website, CherylKasper.com.
Yep.
I'm also going to be in the summit. I'm going to do a masterclass a week from today, next Friday, in Natasha's summit. I believe you have the link, or I can put the link.
Yeah, we're going to pop the link to the summit in there. So just as an FYI, for those of you that don't know, Natasha Bray's Story Mind Summit, the Story Minders are actually going to be delivering a masterclass in their particular space, in their particular industry. So loads of value to be had, completely free to take part, and you can catch Cheryl's on Friday.
Yes. And I'd love to give everybody that's watching a copy of my Freedom Planner and Journal.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I'll pop that link in the comments as well. It's an instant download, and it's got some affirmations, some meditations, a weekly journal, a weekly planner. That way, you can come from a place of ease and flow, the feminine one. Right?
Amazing. Thank you so much for that. That's so kind. So please, if you're watching along, if you're either watching on the replay, we're going to pop that into the links across where we're streaming to. Go and download it. Go and get amongst it. Huge love to you, Cheryl. Thank you for getting up. Enjoy your time this morning with the birds and your coffee.
Thank you so much, Dani.
You are so welcome, Cheryl Kasper. Everybody, what a person! What a week this week! It's been a real strong week this week of incredible stories, of incredible connection. We have been in the spiritual realm. We have been in the spiritual realm for quite a lot of this, but that connection, that intuitive part of you, is the bit that unlocks everything else. Please make way, you lot, for Princess Ivy. Are you all right? Where are you? There she is, looking absolutely beautiful. I'm going to go and play princesses with my princess now. Say bye, everybody.
Peace out.
Peace out. I will see you on Monday for more showing up, rising up and rising up. Make sure you go and carry on the conversation in the IATQB Hive, and do go and follow me on Instagram at the Queen Bee. Dani, you've no tea?
Yeah.
I've not knocked them out. They just fell out on their own. I just want to put that out there just in case any of you are concerned for the lack of teeth in her mouth. She's just at that age. Give him a smile. Look at that Peggy grin, everybody. Right, you lot, have an incredible day. Have an incredible weekend. We will see you bright and breezy on Monday morning for more showing up, wising up and rising up. Take care. Ta-ra.
Peace out.
Peace out.